excitement around here. Welcome to Make Your Day Richer. Today we're shining a spotlight on the magic of local theater with a guest who truly embodies its spirit. Patricia Cullinane is the president of Summerville, South Carolina's Flowertown Players Board, and her love affair with theater began as a child, watching neighbors transform into dazzling performers. She's here to announce their incredible 49th season that starts this fall, featuring shows like and we're talking about the magic of live theater, a Rosie O'Donnell connection, and how you can support local theater even if you're not an actor. Let's start the show.
Make your day richer than it was before. Got some good times knocking upon your front door.
Patricia, good morning.
Good morning.
Get rid of this too. I'm so happy to finally meet you. Patricia, as you all know, because you've seen some of her cast members, you've seen some of her not cast members on the show, her directors. Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. I need more coffee. From Flowertown Players, and we finally get to meet you.
I know. I figured I am setting up all these interviews with everybody else. Why can't I talk to this guy? I want to talk to him. So
exactly. When do I get to talk? Yes, that happens a lot on this show, as everybody's begging to talk. But first of all, congratulations. You're starting the 49th season of Flowertown Players this year.
I know. 49 years. It's hard to believe that we've been there that long. Mm. And that theater, it's right in downtown Summerville. It's in like the historic area. There's a town square right in front of it. So it feels like you're in a Hallmark movie sometimes.
That must be a this area thing, because there's a town 5 minutes from my house that I say is like a Hallmark movie. So yeah, it must be this little Southern charm, right?
It is. One year I don't know if they're going to do it this year, but one year there was an empty lot kind of one street over in the town, and they made it an ice skating rink, and we were out there ice skating, and the Christmas light, I'm like, what are we? It has to be, Hallmark has to be around here somewhere. So
there's probably either a proposal happening soon or a divorce. Like that's what can happen in these towns, right?
Anything, but it will have a happy ending for sure.
Of course. How long have you been with Flowertown Players?
Well, I have a kind of a weird history, because I first walked in the door like in 91. I think my husband was in the military and we were stationed here. And then the Charleston Navy base closed, so we had to leave. And then we moved back here years later, and we were here for a while and then had to leave. And so this is the third time that I have lived here. But
third time's the charm?
Yeah. And each time I have done different things, at the theater. So I say I've been there decades, but it's kind of been off and on. But I have done just about everything there.
I was going to say, you've also done so many roles within the theater, right?
Yeah, I did my first show ever there. Like I think I was telling you, but I'd like to say it was a Cinderella story, that I walked in and, got a starring role, but no, that's not the way it happened. I did audition and didn't get a role, which happens. And I volunteered to work backstage, and luckily they called. And then, when you do that, then you get to know people, and it's not so scary. And they get to know you. And so then I worked backstage on another show. And then anyway, I finally got a part, and then got on the board and all sorts of things. But it just has gone from there. It's pretty cool to see that it's changed so much, and yet it's not, it's still the same community place that it always has been.
I mean, opening your 49th season this year, to me, that seems like obviously a celebration, but for community theater to be around that long, I mean, that has to say something about the area that you're in and the shows that everyone's putting on there.
Yeah, I think that one of the unique things about our theater is we listen to our audience. We've done a lot of audience surveys in the past, but we talk to them, we know them, and we find out what they like and what they respond to, and then you sort of learn over the years, anyway, and sort of what works and what doesn't. But I actually had a really funny experience. I lived in Delaware not too long ago, and I auditioned for a show there at a theater, Chapel Street Players. And the director said that he was from the South. So after the auditions, I said, "Oh, where in the South?" And he said, "Oh, you probably haven't heard of it, Summerville." I said, yeah. Did you ever do any theater there? And he said, "Well, there's a little theater there, Flowertown Players. I was one of the founders." And I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
okay, so I mean, small world,
Yes,
but
I think that's the theater world. Yes. Oh, I think
yeah,
I do virtual interviews from people all over here, and I have met so many people. I grew up in a very small town in northern Wisconsin, and I have met so many people either from that area who have been there. Like, it's so interesting where, I don't know, it's like the same type of people kind of gravitate no matter where you're at really in life.
I know,
Yeah.
and I saw your show about Rosie O'Donnell,
Oh,
and I have
mhm.
been
I
meaning
love
to
her.
tell you.
Yeah. Mhm.
I've been meaning to tell you that I mean, I'm not okay. I'm not the super fan that you, but I love her. I loved her
Oh,
show, and that is where I have my first memory of kind of like seeing people from Broadway. I mean, it seemed
yeah.
so remote and just unknowable. It was another world, and then she brought it into our
In
living
my
room.
living room.
And it
Yeah.
really
I
made a
didn't even know that it was a thing, like, as a kid in that age, because we didn't have a theater program in my school. Like, we had K through 12 in one building. Like, there was no theater program. There was no
yeah.
community theater. I didn't even know that was a thing that existed in the world.
Mhm, mhm. I don't
So
I didn't really either, and I remember she had, some stars that I knew from TV, and
mhm.
that's where I found out, oh, they had done these big shows, and
Yeah.
I don't know, it was really something that she did, I think, for a lot of theater kids will have that same memory, but
Yeah, I always wonder, like, I mean, she's, 63 now, as we just celebrated her birthday, and that
yeah.
was 30 years ago that her show even started. So, like, all of those kids that grew up who are now on Broadway because of her, and then she goes to the show and you get to meet, like, what that must be like for
I
them.
know. I know. It's crazy. And our theater in a small way, I mean, we try to reach out to people and maybe we could be that experience for
Yeah,
them.
yeah. Yeah, in
They
any
come in.
small way you can do that. Like, it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be the Rosie O'Donnell show, I have people from this show who have been like, "Well, I started a show because I felt like I could do it because you were doing it, or you inspired me to do whatever." Like,
Oh my
doesn't matter.
gosh, you're
Yeah.
having your own moment.
I'm telling you, yes, yes, yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
the same thing with you guys, like,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be on such a big scale, but you are moving people. That's how you got to 49 seasons.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
really is. And we have a lot of people that did shows when they were kids, and they're still,
Mhm.
they come back or they come back with their own kids. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. I mean, almost 50 years, we've been doing this. So
Well, I hope we're throwing a big party for 50, and I hope I'm there, so
yes.
oh my
Oh, I'd love it. I'd
it'll
love
be
it.
so fun. Tell everybody some of the shows that are coming up and when the season opens.
Yeah. We're ending this season with a big Noises Off, which has gotten a lot of good buzz from, when
A
I'm
lot of
talking to the
noise is what I heard.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed it. It was right
Yeah.
there. It was
You
right
said
there.
now. From now on, that's how you can
Right.
talk. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna use it every interview. That's it.
Yep.
But we are opening next season. The show's gonna start in August,
Okay.
and we're opening with Shrek the musical. So so much excitement about that.
Yeah.
And it has worked to our advantage to start the season off with just like a big, well-known family friendly show. I mean, we don't do
Mhm.
that every year, but it's a good way to start off. And then we're going to go into a little bit different, a murder mystery. Agatha Christie's Murder on the Orient Express.
Ooh.
So, I'm going to try out for that one, and I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll be the killer. I don't know. I don't know who's the killer. I don't
You
remember the
can't
show.
want to have spoilers now.
Yeah. No. I know that it's going to be cool because we're going to have a train. It's in a train car type of thing. So it's
Yeah.
not going to be your normal living room sofa lamp window set. But after that, we're going into the holiday show. So that'll be a Suicified Christmas Carol, which is sort of what it sounds like. If Charles Dickens had a little help from Dr. Seuss.
Uh-huh. Love that
Lots
twist.
of rhyming, I think. Uh, and then we're going to do a musical. Not a whole lot of people have heard of it. It's called The Spitfire Grill. It was a movie years ago. And this is a play based on that, but it's got some beautiful music, very haunting, very the music is people are saying it kind of reminds them of the music in Waitress.
Cool.
So that should be fun. And then we're going to close the season out with, puppets, because who wouldn't want to do that? And we're going to do a little shop of horrors.
That's a great season.
Yeah.
And I know you have, can you talk a little bit about season passes and how people can engage and get into the theater?
Yeah. Can I talk about season passes? That's all I talk about.
That's why she's here.
It's just that, single tickets are great, and coming and trying out a show is obviously great. That's what I did when I first started. But, when we put together the season, we're trying to put together, I call it, a journey. We're trying to put together a journey for the audience. We're trying to take you somewhere from start to finish. And so when you get a season pass, you get to be a part of that journey. You get to go along on the ride with us, and you're part of something. So I just encourage people to think about doing that, because it you'd be surprised at what a difference it makes to just be hanging in there all the way, and get looking forward to the next show that's coming up. And financially it makes sense. The nitty gritty of it is you're paying for 4 shows and you're getting 5. So that's in these expensive times, that's always a good thing. But
Mhm.
it's more just the being part of it. Just come in and go on the ride with us, because that's where we want to take you. We want to take you from the first show to the last show, and we want it to be an experience for the community as a whole. Yeah.
What I like about season tickets is that I also then don't have to think about it. Like,
Mhm.
it's built in. So, there's so many times where I'm like, I see even on Facebook, whatever, a show that I'm like, I want to see that. And then all of a sudden it's out of my mind. Where this way, it's like built into your calendar and it built into your mind already.
Yeah. And, like last year, we started off with a really big popular show, Beauty and the Beast, and we sold out. That last weekend we were sold out. We had to add 2 shows. So if you had your season tickets, you would already have them,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where can people get season tickets?
Well, it's a variety of ways. You can go online and get them, and that's actually fairly new in the last few years. We had a lot of trouble trying to get that going, so this is fantastic. As my daughter told me, Mom, if it's not online, I'm not going to get it. So I said, okay,
Fair
well,
enough.
then we
Fair
need to
enough.
get on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a box office staff. You can go in, you can, call the theater. There's many, many different ways to get them, and I encourage everyone to do it.
Good, good. I also know how much work goes into putting up the shows, like you said, box office staff, all of the other things outside of the people on the
Right.
stage. Is there, as you're looking ahead to the season when it starts this fall, like are you looking for ushers? What kind of help that way are you looking if you want to get involved in theater but you don't want to act?
Richard, you gonna come and help us?
Hmm. No, I don't want to act. I'm not good at it, so I'll come do
Oh,
something
come
else.
Yeah, really, we're always looking, and because I know and we've talked about, people have come on your show and talked about it before, but we need, it's truly a community theater. We need directors, assistant directors, stage managers, lighting, costume, sound, ushers, everything.
Yeah.
Um, And what happened with me, like I said, I did come and try out, but I said, "Hey, I'll help out, in another way." And we when we pick the shows, we generally we're trying to get directors in place, and we put out a call for directors. But then we've got to fill all those other, pieces, because
Mhm.
it's not a cliche, really. It's the truth that every single piece is just as important as the other one. I mean, the audience may just see the people on stage, but it's so much more. So,
It's almost like
yeah,
a community.
always. Yeah, you think?
Yeah, you can
Hmm.
use that
Yeah.
one as well too in your other interviews.
I mean, I don't even know. I don't have to think anymore about these speeches. You're
Yeah.
writing it for me. Keep going. Keep going.
Yes, yeah. When someone reaches out and says, "Do you wanna come on our show?" Be like, "Oh, sorry, I did Richard's show. I don't need to. I've got it here. Just send them the clip."
Yeah, that's what I'm
Uh,
gonna do.
yeah, yes. I love that you have been doing this yourself for so long,
Yeah.
that Flowertown Players has been around so long. Can you talk about that community piece of it for the importance in communities that either have it or don't have it and want a community theater? I know there are some in my area in South Carolina that are trying to start community theaters, and it's
Mhm.
so hard and it's so discouraging because,
Yeah.
new things are hard to get going.
Yeah, I mean, and I really feel for them when they're starting, because you've got all these grand ideas about what you wanna do, but how do you get the message across?
Yeah.
How do you get people to, um it's usually easy to find people that wanna get up on stage, but where are all the people that, first of all, that wanna do the other work?
Yeah.
And second of all, how do you get your audience in the door? But,
Right.
I had, kind of told you a little bit about our outreach in our community.
Mhm.
And so what we found out was that people did know about us. I mean, we're right in downtown. They drive by us, they see us all the time. But they just weren't taking that first step into the theater. And I couldn't figure out why. I just didn't know what it was. And I had to think back to what made me. I drove by that theater for 2 years,
Wow.
on my way to work and on the way home. And I kept thinking I would like to go in, but I never did. And I couldn't even tell you why. I didn't know what to expect. Um, didn't know what to do. Just,
Mhm.
it was easy to put it off. So what we did was we figured, if you're not going to take the first step towards us, then we will take the first step towards you. And we started going to all these uh, festivals in town. We're lucky our town has so many. I mean, we do them all. We do Flowertown Festival, Greek Festival, Italian Festival, third Thursday. Every third Thursday, there's a festival. And we just, we popped our tent, put out our table, and got brochures, and just started talking to people.
Mhm.
Just Richard, it has been such a psychology experiment
I
to be
bet.
at these tables for like a year and a half, because when we started off, we had a lot of people just walking by us. They're just walking by. Then the more we did them, we had people like hovering. They're looking at us, but then they run
Trying to see
away.
which shows are coming up to see if there's one they might be interested in without having
Maybe,
to engage. Yes.
maybe. And
Yeah.
then they started, if they just come forward, we'll start talking, and we're not selling you anything. We're
Mhm.
just talking.
Mhm.
It has made such a difference. It is. I mean, we just show them, hey, it's fun. Come,
Yeah.
don't be afraid. So it's been amazing. It's really been amazing. Now I have people that come up and just uh, come up and grab the brochure because they already know about us. But they just
Mhm.
want to know what's coming up. So that's kind of cool too.
I have to ask what you love most about your life right now.
I love getting people excited about the theater. I
Mhm.
I want to sell the tickets, I want to see a full house. I want to make money for the theater. I mean, I'm on the board, and I think I told you I can talk about the board, but I don't know how to make the board exciting. The board,
The boards aren't really that exciting. No, we'll skip right over the boards. Yes. We
I
love
know
them all. We love our board members,
we
but
do,
yes.
we do. No, the board of directors, they work so hard, but we're doing all the things that we have to do, and we're coming up with the ideas, and we're putting in the work, but when you see that you have sparked, some excitement. I mean, we see it with our ticket sales are increasing, but the energy, in the place, just the I don't know how to describe it, but you can feel it. I mean, it is
Mhm.
it's a tangible thing. We can all feel it, and
Yeah.
that is really rewarding. I mean, I hope I've had a little part in that, but I'll take what I can get. I love it. And I hear the people telling me at the festivals. They tell me that. And before they were just they didn't know what we were doing there, but
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Theater is the reason why I had one of the best jobs of my life. I met someone at a theater. Well, I was going through an awful time of life, and I thought I'm going to take myself out to the theater. And I went to see a theater. I went to see a show, met someone there, ended up working, and like it completely changed the course of my entire life through theater. And I think
Oh my
even
gosh.
if you're not looking for that type of movement, there's nothing like it. My favorites are opening night, where everyone's like a little bit nervous but excited at the same
Mhm.
time, and then a closing night when everyone's kind of over it and ready for it to be done, but still excited to do it and a little bit more relaxed. And then I think both have such energy to them. I love it.
They really do. And I heard you say that before, and I was thinking about it. I mean, I understand that, but I know when you're up there on stage, at least for me, I'll tell you that the best night is usually the second night
Of course.
because
Yes.
the first night, it's great, but
Yeah,
you're like, "What am I doing? Where am I? What's happening?"
I know. And I think, yes. Yeah. And I think for me, as the like, I love to see all the little oopsies and see all the, like I saw Wizard of Oz once opening night and Toto took off the wrong way. And to me, like that's so funny to me, and it makes it so real because they're just trying so hard. And I just love, yes, but yes, second night for everybody on in the theater who's working there is
Right.
probably the best night. Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned that because when you're up there, when something goes wrong, it's like the whole audience becomes alive.
Hmm.
They're just
Hmm.
everybody sits up straighter and whatever has happened, they know it shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
And you don't of course you don't want that stuff to happen, but it's part of it and
Yeah.
you feel like they're really with you then,
Hmm.
because they
Yes.
want you to get through it.
Yeah, yes, there's so much forgiveness and there's so much compassion and there's so like it's okay. And then it also makes me feel better when I know there's a crew of, 20 and something screws up and then I screw something up here. I'm like, okay, it's just me. It's okay. It's not the worst thing that's ever happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you can get through it anyway because,
Exactly.
yeah,
We'll
but
get through
it
it.
does. It really brings an energy and it's part of seeing a live show.
Yeah.
It's the reason it's not just the mistakes, but that feeling is when you said it, it sort of changed your life. I feel like if you haven't done it, if you haven't gone to see a lot, you won't get it until you go
Mhm.
in there. And
Yeah.
it's just an experience. It's hard to describe if you haven't felt it, but
It's so
it's
true.
happening right in front of you. It's
Yeah.
happening right
Yes, anything can happen. I know. There's no matter where you live, if you're not even in South Carolina, go find theater and go take it in.
Yeah,
Go try it. But if
yeah.
you are, go to Flowertown Players website
Right.
and get season tickets, would you?
Richard, I love you for saying that.
You're
I
welcome.
love
I love
it.
you for coming on here and for hanging out with me and chatting about the 49th season.
I love it. Well, that's what I do, and then I got to do this, right? What's my thing on Facebook? I'm always like
Yeah.
talking about Flower Town Players. Yeah.
Yes, we'll see more pictures of this. Patricia, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Anytime, you know that. We'll take a break and be right back after this. Don't go away. Life is difficult. Are you feeling overwhelmed or like you could use a little support for your mental well being? Visit the Help Hub. It's the most comprehensive and inclusive free online destination for mental health resources, helpful tools, crisis hotlines, and supportive content. Just go to thehelphub.co to find the resources you need when you need them most. Unlike other resource pages, the Help Hub is divided into 16 different categories, ensuring that everyone in every community has access to the resources and support that matches their unique needs. Find the help you're looking for at thehelphub.co. That's our show, everyone. If you loved today's show, please buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/makeyourdayricher. It's the only way we'll be able to continue doing these shows Monday through Friday. And just share the show right now. It's over. And be like, oh my gosh, we need to go see these shows. Oh my gosh, let's get season tickets right now. And we'll be back tomorrow with an all new episode. Go make your day richer. Go make somebody else's day richer. You've made mine by watching this show, and I love you for it. Have a wonderful, great day, everyone. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.